Good morning, children. I am John Lewis. I am so glad to meet Nalanda 9th standard students, and I'll be teaching you chemistry online uh, starting from today. And before we start anything in chemistry, better I introduce myself to you and something more about me. See, I have been a chemistry teacher for more than 38 years now, and besides being a teacher, I am a memory champion. I became Indian National Memory Champion two times, and I have become the first ever Grand Master of Memory from India. And right now, I am an international coach for memory. I travel across the globe and teach my memory techniques and also chemistry to students. I have been to your school a couple of times in the year 2016 and 17, and since I was not available after that, I could not come and meet you all. See, I'm so glad now. So, due to lockdown, we got the opportunity to get connected through online. So, you will be so keen not to learn after 2.5 months at home, sitting idle, and you all will be pumped up to learn something new, and you all will be very eager to go back to school, meet your friends, teachers, and want to learn new things. But unfortunately, we are in a different situation. We are all facing difficult times. So let us make it something useful using this online. So this is how your school management invited me to share my knowledge with you. See, I am very happy now to come back to your school and share my knowledge with you all. Hope you all will like this class. That is a chemistry class along with some memory tips here and there and wherever it is required. And if you like to ask me, okay, what all the things we have it in our syllabus, okay, let us not straight away jump into what all in our syllabus, and let us take, suppose you go to your kitchen, and everything what you spot in the kitchen is chemistry. Am I right? Or you go anywhere, you go out of your house, you see a bus which is running on tires, wheels. Am I right? All the tires and wheels are made of what? Matters. What are those matters? They are all some chemical substances. Am I right? So you go to kitchen, you are seeing lots of vessels, cooking vessels. What they are made of? They are made of an element called aluminium. And you are seeing a frying pan. And what is that frying pan is made of? It is made of iron. And you are seeing all the ingredients, no, various ingredients we use for cooking. They all stored where? Maybe in a glass bottle or various small glass bottles. Various ingredients are kept in various different size bottles. Maybe glass bottles or plastic bottles. What those glasses are made of, what those plastics are made of, they are all matter. Or everything is matters in this world. But how these matters are made up of, or all these matters are same, are different, and it is all very interesting to learn if you start from what we are using in day-to-day life instead of going to straight away into the book and learn from the book. Just look around and see what is there in and around us, and everything is chemistry. So the shirt we are wearing is made of some matter. What is that matter? The pen you are writing, it is also a matter. What it is made up of? Okay, so we are eating lots of food. If you, I think all of you like pickles. So why the pickles is sour in taste? So what is there in it? Why it is sour? If you take sugar or if you take any sweet, how you feel? It's very sweet, am I right? Why it is sweet? Okay, what is the substance present in it? So there are various substances present in this world, and everything has got different characters and different properties. Maybe the order also may be different, the color may be different, and everything is different. Okay, you are seeing wherever we go out, we see what? Iron rods. See, if the iron rods are kept on air for some time, so maybe in your school you could have seen some iron rods are lying somewhere, and you are going for vacation and you are coming back to school after vacation. You might have seen the rods rusted, am I right? That might have turned into brown color. What is that? Why that iron rod turned into brown? It is all chemical reactions, isn't it? It's all chemical reaction. Okay, why that chemical reaction takes place? What is a chemical reaction means in the very first place? And what will be there, sir? You were telling cooking vessels are made up of aluminium, and then rods are made up of iron, and the frying pan is made of iron. And so we are having plastic buckets. So what is that plastic is made up of? So what is this glass is made up of? And everything is matter, everything is chemistry. So how many? So that is what each and there are 118 elements discovered so far in this world. Some are stable, some are unstable. Stable means what? See, for example, aluminium you take, it's a stable element. That is why we are able to make vessels and keep it. And some of the elements, as soon as it forms, they disintegrate, and they cannot stay forever. Its lifespan is very less. There are some elements like that. So do all the elements have same properties or different properties? Okay, if it is all same, no problem. Then everything will be the same. Am I right? Then there is no beauty in this world. If everything is same, there is no beauty. Everything is different. Every element is different. See, you take human, everybody is different. Even twins are different. They may look alike, but their characters, their behavior, and their ability to do certain things, everything differs. Therefore, all the elements cannot be the same. So, how they differ in their property then? What is there in element? What is meant by element? Okay, and before we go into details of all these things, so first let us take uh, what we can say. See, if you're going into the kitchen, sometimes you get that bad smell in the kitchen. Why we get that bad smell? Because some of the food might have spoiled. Why it is smelling when it is spoiled? Have you ever thought of it? What we think is okay, that has gone waste, or that is spoiled, that gone waste, throw it away. That's all. Why? Why it has gone waste? And we all love lace, am I right? So you know lace packet how it will be. When you open it, what happens? Some gases are going out, isn't it? Some gases are going out. What is that gas? And why that lace is filled with some other gases inside? And how that gas protects that lace? If there is no gas is inside along with the lace, and if it is not tightly packed, what will happen? That lace also will be spoiled, and it will start stinking after some time. That is why, to protect that, what we need to use, it has to be protected along with nitrogen gas. So what is the property of nitrogen then, and why it is used for protecting lace? And so even cool drinks now, when you open it, what is coming out? Carbon dioxide gas is coming out. If there is no carbon dioxide gas inside, what will happen to that juice? How long it can stay good before getting spoiled? See, all this, everything is chemistry. Everything is chemistry. Your notebook is chemistry. Your pen is chemistry. Your pencil is chemistry. What is that rod which is black in color, which is writing, no, in pencil? What is that? What it is made up of? It is carbon. Nothing but carbon. It is nothing but coal. The black substance we are getting from mines, no, there's nothing but coal. Same thing. Then we are wearing a very, very costly diamond rings, no? Some rich people wear all diamond rings in all 10 fingers. What is that diamond is made of? It is also made up of the same carbon. See the difference? One is used for making, the same carbon is used for making pencil rods. And the same carbon is used for making the costliest diamond ring. How is it possible? See, if we want to make all such things, what we need to do? So we need to learn the properties of all these 118 elements. Oh, 118 is too much, sir. 118 is too much to learn and remember and reproduce it in the examination. Oh, that is why what they have done, they have classified all the elements. Some of the elements are found to have similar properties. and all those elements were grouped together. So scientists have created a system. Okay, so what is the evolution of that classification of these elements? So these elements were classified according to their properties. That is what is known as periodic table. All the 118 elements are given in a periodic table, and elements with similar properties are grouped together. So scientists have developed a system for that. What is that system? That is what is chemistry. That's what we have to learn. That's what we are going to learn in ninth standard. So this is what is the first few chapters. First chapter is language of chemistry. That is what all the various elements present in this world and how we can denote them. Every time we cannot write the name of full name. It is very tough. Therefore, what scientists have done, they have developed a shorthand for writing the element. That is what is called symbol. So how they created, what is the system they create, even that we need not memorize. Just by knowing the system, we can get the symbol of the elements. And that is the beauty. Everything is very simple. So chemistry is nothing but philosophy and mathematics put together. What is philosophy? It is reality and existence. What is real? See, suppose, I told you my name is John Lewis. You have to take it, no? Suppose you tell me your name, I have to take it. There's no reason for it. Maybe your parents might be knowing some reason why they kept that particular name for you. But for me, for the other people, it is not necessary. By looking at your face, I should call you by your name. Am I right? Same thing. All the 118 elements have got some names. Okay, just we have to remember them. That is what the reality, existence. We have to take and learn and remember. That's all. Okay, then using that knowledge and using our intelligence, our intuition, our interest, we have to develop that to work out something. See, for example, why aluminium is used for cooking? Why copper vessels are not directly used for cooking? Only copper bottom vessel. So no vessel made of copper is used for cooking. Why? What will happen if you use copper vessel directly? Unless you know the properties, unless you know how it behaves, we don't know exactly. That is why scientists have done all the researches and they have classified the elements according to their properties. Okay, is it clear? See, the same aluminium is used for making wires. The same copper is also used for making wires. Then why not both can be used for making, for cooking or making cooking vessels? Why only aluminium is used? Why not copper? Because copper, when it is heated, that is converted into copper oxide, which is poisonous. Whereas aluminium oxide is not poisonous. That is why aluminium vessels are used. Just to make you feel comfortable and why we are learning all these things. What is the importance of learning all these things? I'm just sharing with you. Hope this is the way, first of all, we need to approach a subject. Why we should learn, where we are using it in our day to day life, in what way it is going to benefit me. Okay, for example, you take the salt at home. What is that salt? Many of you may be knowing its chemical name sodium chloride. That is, sodium is one metal, chloride is sodium is one element, and chlorine is another element. So sodium has an entire different property, and chlorine has entire different property. When these two combine together, it forms a solid substance. Chlorine is a gas. Chlorine is a gas. Sodium is a highly reactive metal. It can explode when you throw it into water. But when you combine these two, that sodium chloride become very useful to us, no? And without sodium chloride, we cannot live, we cannot eat anything. But individually, if you take those elements, they behave totally differently. For example, you take carbon. Carbon is combustible, coal, no? That is what is used for burning anything. Carbon is combustible. And if you add oxygen gas to that carbon, see, we are blowing now when carbon is burning. What happens? So the fire expands and it burns still brightly. So oxygen supports the combustion. Oxygen supports the combustion of the carbon to burn brightly. But you combine both carbon and oxygen, it becomes carbon dioxide. But that is used as a fire extinguisher. That's the beauty of chemistry. See, carbon is having entirely a specific character, and oxygen has got another specific character. But when you mix up these two and produce a new compound, all together it will behave differently. See this? Carbon is combustible. That means what? It can burn very easily. And oxygen is a supporter of combustion. If anything burns, and it will support it to burn still brightly. That is what is the role of oxygen. But when you combine these two, carbon and oxygen, that should still burn brightly, no? But carbon dioxide is a fire extinguisher. If anything burns, to put out or put off that fire, what we are using? We are using that carbon dioxide as a fire extinguisher. What a beauty! And that is a system. See, even sometimes our parents scold us. No, see, your mother used to tell you, no, your father is such a great man. How hard he studied, worked in his life, and I also had come the hard way, and we have given you everything, but you are not doing well. See, the father's character and mother characters, they expect from the child, but the child behaves totally differently. Same thing here. The one element is having one property, the other element is having another property, and when they combine together and produce a new compound, that altogether behaves totally differently. Is it clear? So this is what we are going to, that is what is going to make chemistry very interesting to you, and that will motivate you to learn more and more. Okay, for example, you take water. Without water, we cannot live. Am I right? So water is made up of what? Hydrogen and oxygen gas. Hydrogen is a gas. Oxygen is another gas. But when you mix these together, what happens? Water liquid is formed. Along with it produces lots of heat energy also. Understand? So that is what. See, for example, so from where you are getting energy, we are breathing. Okay, that's fine. So that makes us to be alive, and we are eating food to get strength. Okay, from where you are getting that strength, where you are getting the energy. For example, after attending school for the whole day, you get very tired. Then after going back to the hostel, you are taking some snacks, coffee or tea, and you become energetic, isn't it? The food gives us energy. How? What is that food is made up of? See, whatever we eat and we are breathing, that air contains oxygen that burns the food inside our stomach and produces what? Carbon dioxide and water along with heat. So that heat gives us energy. And without breathing and without the oxygen we are breathing, the food cannot be burnt and we may not get energy. Okay, what is that food made up of? We don't know right now. And we are going to learn all those things. What are the elements present in it? In each and everything we'll be learning. Okay, for example, you take crackers. Diwali means crackers. And what are the chemicals used in crackers? Any one of you know? Okay, if you know it, that's very good. Okay, you take matchstick, and you know the matchstick will be small, and at the tip of the matchstick, what is there? There will be a head with some chemicals. What is that chemical? Phosphorus. Why phosphorus is used for striking that fire? Why not any other element? And how that phosphorus is made into paste, and how it is made head, and okay, how we are getting all those things, from where we are getting it, and how to prepare that one. All these things, no, it is all done by human. If not I, or if not you, somebody else like you and me only are doing it, isn't it? Why not we? So if we want to develop further, this is what we need to do. For example, you take crackers, it cracks and it gives different colors, we enjoy. But the same chemical substance, when it is used in explosives, what happens? It destroys. No, it destroys. So when the quantity is more than certain amount, what happens? Suddenly the crackers becomes explosives. So that is dangerous. So to what extent we can use that? How to find out that? Without chemistry, there is nothing. That is what we need to calculate. This much should react with this much, so that this will be produced, and this is not dangerous. That will give us different colors, and we can enjoy that. Suppose the proportion is changed, what will happen? Suddenly that will explode, that becomes dangerous. How can we find out that? That is mathematics, no? That is what? From philosophy of chemistry. That is what? What is a philosophy? Okay, this is what this, and this is how it behaves, and this is what this will produce when react with something else, And this is what, these are all standard. We need to understand. We have to accept it. See, when I tell you my name is John Lewis, you accept it. When your teachers taught you this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, you accept it, isn't it? Same way, all facts of chemistry we need to accept, learn, and remember. Okay, I'll give you some tips also how to learn them and remember them wherever that will be very, very interesting to us. More than giving information, or in addition to giving you the information about chemistry, I'll be giving you all sorts of memory tips for you everywhere to learn and remember them. So if you follow me, it becomes very, very easy and simple. Understand? Okay, then. So we need to study about water, because water is a common thing we are using, isn't it? When you feel thirsty, you are drinking water. For cooking, we are using water. For bathing, we are using water. Why not we are using acid or bases? Why we are using water? Because water is neutral. It is neither acidic nor basic. So what all the substances are acidic? What all the things are basic? Why we should not use them? What will happen we use them? So instead of drinking water, if we drink some acid or base, what will happen to us? Why such things should happen to us? And why not we use that? Okay, see, for example, now we know gold is the costliest, platinum is costlier than gold. All these things we know by our experience. But can we convert one metal into other metal? Why not we convert all the elements into gold and platinum so that everybody becomes rich? Is it possible? Why it is not possible to do that? And all these things we should learn. Okay, that's why we need to take certain elements and we have to learn its property, how it is made up of, and what are the particles inside each and every element, how they behave. So for the first element of all the 118 elements is hydrogen. Therefore, we will be learning about hydrogen, the first element of all the 118 elements. We will be studying everything in detail. What are the uses of hydrogen, what it is made up of, and how it behaves with all the other elements, and so many properties of hydrogen. And we will be learning all of them. Okay, then what we'll be learning? Pollution. See, industries are giving out smoke, and lots of industries are giving out liquid waste and then solid waste, and they run into sea or they run into any river water like that. So it is all polluting our air and water. So what is that? Why that pollution is caused? And what are those emissions from industries they have in them? How we can avoid them? Okay, all those things we can do, we can bring into practice only if we learn chemistry properly. Learn facts and learn how to apply those facts in real life. This is what is all about chemistry. So we are having around 8 chapters in chemistry, and after that we will be learning about gas. There are so many elements or gases. For example, chlorine, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. All these things are gases. How these gases behave? When temperature increases, what will happen to the gas? When temperature decreases, what will happen to that gas? Like that, you give pressure to that gas, what will happen? And if you release the pressure, what will happen? So if you do both, you increase the pressure and also the temperature, what will happen to that gas? How the gas behaves? And what are those gases made up of? Okay, all those things we will be learning in 9th standard. Okay, see, you take any vehicle. Finally, it runs on wheels. Am I right? It is filled with the tires filled with what? Air inside, isn't it? Without air, finally, it cannot run. So, what are the properties of that air? So, even though so much weight, no, it is giving lots of pressure to the tire. Still, it can maintain, it can manage. Therefore, gases should have certain properties. See, unless somebody have learned the properties of the gases, we could not have made wheels. Am I right? We could not have made wheels. So like this, see, if you learn all those things, what are the already existing properties of each and everything, and using your intelligence and your knowledge, you can develop it further, for which we need to learn chemistry. Right from cooking, you take rockets. What is the fuel used there? Hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen fuel is used in rocket. It burnt with oxygen, and water is released in the form of steam, and lots of heat energy is given out. That is what is pulling that rocket upwards. Is it clear? So why that hydrogen should be used? Why not some other thing be used? For example, we are using sodium chloride salt for cooking in all our food. Why that can't be used as a fuel in rocket? Why not that hydrogen can be used as a salt substance? Why not? Okay, we should know the properties. Understand? If some sweets are always sweet, what is giving that sweetness to the sweet, and what is giving the sourness to the juices what we drink? Understand? Why chili is very hot? What is the substance in it? Chili is very hot, isn't it? And what is the substance in it? Why it differs from the substances giving the sweetness? And what is the difference between this and that? So we need to understand all these things in chemistry. Okay, then we'll be learning about something about chemical changes. Okay, I told you now. So there are so many chemical changes taking place. Two elements combine together to form a compound. Then two compounds can combine together to form different compounds. Why should they happen in the very first place, and how they will react with each other, under what conditions what product will form? All these things are neatly explained in your ninth standard syllabus. So you are in the making of a scientist in ninth standard. Okay, if you learn all these things very well, and you will become a scientist. Definitely you will become a thinker in the very first place, and you will learn to ask question for each and everything. Okay, how this happens, why this happens. So if you get that habit, no asking question, nobody can stop you from becoming a scientist. Okay, so this is what I like to give you as introductory lesson for ninth standard chemistry children. Hope you like it. And okay, before I wind up, so I like to remind you one more time for the latecomers or those who join me late. I am John Lewis. I will be your online chemistry teacher from today onwards until the school reopens. Hope you enjoyed my talk here, the introductory talk about chemistry, and I will love to meet you very soon. And we will be meeting 2 or 3 times in a week for 30 minutes. So I'll be teaching you all the lessons one by one. Wish you all the very best. Children, have a good day, good time. Bye bye.